Good evening, I'm Monique Tuzon and this is PTV News Now. All 13 Filipinos and a lone Ukrainian seafarer are safe despite the bombing attack. The shipping company and its manpower staffing agency told and confirmed the Department of Migrant Workers office. Reports have it the bulk carrier or cargo ship was attacked as soon as it was in Yemeni waters near the city of Hodeidah late Tuesday afternoon, Philippine time. But while the seafarers escaped bodily harm, the ship did not, with at least 4 hits sustained on certain parts of the vessel. Both the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration have been informed by the ship's headhunter or manpower agency. The Department of Migrant Workers office stressed the ship's voyage to the next port of call continues uninterrupted despite the incident. With no definite end in sight to the Russia-Ukraine war and Israel's war versus Hamas in Gaza, U.S. President Joe Biden has switched focus to affairs at home and his campaign for re-election in November this year. White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara has the story.
As Israel continues its military campaign in Gaza, a ceasefire for hostage release deal with Hamas appears out of reach, even with extensive U.S. diplomatic efforts. Meanwhile, almost 2.5 years since Moscow's invasion, Ukraine so far has rejected the possibility of ceding territory and directly negotiating with Russia.
In both cases, you can make an argument that the U.S. has been so heavily involved without necessarily thinking through the consequences of where that leads, that now we're kind of stuck with no good off-ramp in either conflicts. And I think for Biden, that's the problem.
President Joe Biden did not commit any American troops on the ground in either war.
There are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine. I'm determined to keep it that way. But we are standing strong with Ukraine and we will stand with them.
He scored a major foreign policy win in April by securing the passage of a bipartisan foreign aid bill that included $61 billion for Ukraine and $26 billion for Israel. But since then, he has been shifting the focus of his messaging away from foreign wars.
If Biden is going to win a second term, it's going to have to be on domestic issues, not international. And he's got some ground to make up in the key swing states. So he needs to focus on the ones that identify with democratic points of view, for example, the abortion issue.
And he has. In recent weeks, Biden has ramped up campaign engagements, centering his speeches on the economy and other domestic issues, including protecting abortion rights, canceling student debt, combating hidden junk fees for consumers, and boosting manufacturing.
Clearly, they want to focus on areas they believe to be their strengths, but they're not the ones who only get to make that choice. I mean, the world will continue to intrude.
But ultimately, domestic issues are what drive Biden's agenda. A May Reuters Ipsos poll shows that while many Americans are unhappy with the wars, they see inflation as the most important issue facing the country. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News, Washington.
And at this point in time, let's turn to my colleague in PTV's Pine City studios for what's hot and what's not in the Cordilleras. Ala.
Naimbag Arabi Pilipinas, iti uneg ti 55 a bulan nakaibangon ti DPWH Cordillera iti 239 kilometro a kalsada iti riyon. Adamat lang ti naibangon da 12 arangtay, 68,528 linear meters of flood control structures, 17.09 kilometers of roads leading to tourism destinations, 15.53 kilometers of roads leading to trades, industries, and economic zones, 296 school building, classrooms, 390 kilometers connecting roads to IP communities, can 147 rainwater collectors. Kadakkelan ditoy ti 319 million pesos agatad, ti 48,181 cubic meters capacity rain harvesting and water treatment facility ti Baguio Water District iti Busul Watershed. Dandanimot da ito'y mailipas. Karaman madlang iti major projects ti ahensya ti panakaibangon kadag iti intra-regional road access amang ikonektar iti 6 a probinsya ken 2 a syudad iti Cordillera. Babaen kadag ito'y 22,930 at trabaho tinipaay kadag iti tattao tapno mailipas dagiti patrabaho. Itatawan 35 billion pesos ti pondo ti hensya, amanamnam ang makaipaaymanan iti ad-adu at trabaho, kadagiti umili.
Recognize the critical role that the robust infrastructure plays in driving economic growth, enhancing public safety, and improving the quality of life for our communities.
This initiative reflects our commitment to transparency, community engagement, and the use of innovative solutions to enhance our services.
Iti sa balya damang ipasarat ni 544 negosyo iti Baguio City maribo January 1 aging May 15, 2024. Sigon iti Business Permit and Licensing Office, awanan iti permit dagiti negosyo. Naktuan dagiti establishmentong awanan iti permit, kabiyatan ti routine inspection nga ipatumpal ti opisina ken manipod kadagiti reklamo dagiti umili. Iti datos ti BPLO nakaipaida iti nasrok 20,000 a business permit iti umuna nga upat a bulan itatawan ken adapay dagiti mauawat dang aplikasyon ken documents renewal. Manipod iti nasaw bilang nasrok 19,000 ti na-renew ken nasrok 800 ti newly registered. Kadawyan kadagiti na iristro ang negosyo ket ti wholesale and retail trade, accommodation ken food services. Agtalag ti LGU nga adupay a business permit application ti maawat da nang nangruna taddan ti online electronic business permit application system. Dagiti damdamag manipod dito'y PTV Cordillera, Shop ni Alas Sungduan, na imbagarabii.
And that's all for tonight. Monique Hughes on here wishing you all a restful night ahead.